Everyone knows Arma for its realism, its immersion, its tactical gameplay, and realistic gun physics. But there's something you might not know. The same team behind Arma helped use their engine and create something that powers the most advanced military training simulator in the world. I'm going to explain to you how Arma became a real-world military training tool, and how over 60 countries in the world use it to train their soldiers today. In 2001, a game called Operation Flashpoint Cold War Crisis was released. Developed by Bohemia Interactive, this new type of game stunned players with its large-scale combat and realism. Operation Flashpoint would eventually evolve into the Arma series, which was a cult favorite among the tactical shooter fans. But behind the scenes, something much bigger was brewing. Bohemia Interactive split into two companies. One focused on creating video games, and the other focused on creating Bohemia Interactive Simulations. Bohemia Interactive Simulations, aka BISim, had a mission, and one mission only: to develop training tools for the real-world military forces. BISim's flagship product was called Virtual Battlespace, better known as VBS. The first version, VBS4, was based directly on the Arma engine. It retained the sandbox and editor tools, but added new features for training: after-action review tools, mission planning, and real-world unit modeling. It looked and played like Arma, but it was enhanced with powerful tools for mission design, AI scripting, and again, after-action review. VBS4 was quickly adopted by the United States Marine Corps. It was used for squad tactics, communication drills, and real-world applications. With this game-based simulation like VBS, it became an incredibly powerful tool. In real combat, hesitation could be fatal, so militaries around the world are turning to systems like Virtual Battlespace to sharpen their soldiers' ability to think clearly under fire. Take room clearing, for example. It's one of the riskiest maneuvers in modern warfare, but inside a simulator, soldiers can rehearse the exact same scenario again and again without putting anyone in harm's way. Or IEDs. IEDs are unpredictable and deadly. In VBS, soldiers can safely run through IED detection drills and virtual replicas of real-world terrain, building the muscle memory and situational awareness that they'll need in the field. But it's not just about safety, it's also about mental conditioning. In these digital environments, troops are trained to make split-second decisions under pressure, and when a firefight breaks out or a plane falls apart, they learn to adapt and not freeze up. This kind of decision-based training is what psychologists call stress inoculation. You're exposing the brain to combat stress, but in a safe, controlled space. And because it's all trackable, instructors can break down every moment, from where you looked to where you fired, and the choices you made under pressure. In short, simulators like VBS let soldiers fail fast, learn fast, and think like leaders before they ever stepped foot on the battlefield. Next, we had VBS2 coming in 2007. This was based off Arma 1 and Arma 2. It had improved graphics, scripting, and scenario tools. This was used by NATO, the United States Marine Corps, Australian Defence Force, and the UK Army. Over the years, it evolved alongside Arma 2 and Arma 3, with more realism, support for scripting, and real-world terrain mapping. It also wasn't just for infantry training. It included armored vehicles, air assets, and more. With the release of VBS3 in 2013, based off Arma 3 tech, it allowed large-scale multi-user training, AI scripting, mounted operations, and combined arms. These simulators were used to teach everything from convoy operations, fire team tactics, and communication in the battlefield. VBS gave militaries a safe, repeatable way to train for real-world missions, using the same game engine that you might use at home. Today, VBS is used by over 60 countries worldwide, and instructors can simulate entire operations with hundreds of soldiers and use it for mission rehearsal, rules of engagement drills, combat life-saving, convoy tactics, and so much more. VBS supports detailed after-action reviews where every action is recorded and analyzed, so they can look back and see what went wrong and what went right. Now, we're at VBS4, and this is where things get really impressive. With VBS4, soldiers can plan, simulate, and execute entire missions using real-world terrain data. You can train in a real city or on the other side of the world. Commanders can drag and drop units in real time, record everything, and review it from every angle. VBS4 brings unparalleled flexibility. And yes, it's still built on the foundation laid by Arma. One of the coolest features, in my opinion, is the global terrain system. You can go anywhere in the world. Zoom in on any remote village in Afghanistan or a dense urban center in Europe. You can import satellite imagery and elevation data. Then, start a mission right there. It's a digital sandbox for real-world tactics. The future of military training isn't also just virtual, it's fully immersive. Systems like Virtual Battlespace are now being integrated with next-gen technology, bringing a level of realism that science fiction was just a few years ago. They're now using mixed reality headsets like the Microsoft HoloLens or the HTC Vive, and allowing soldiers to blend the digital world on top of their real-world surroundings. Then there's also full body motion, paired with omnidirectional treadmills and haptic rigs. Soldiers can actually walk, sprint, and turn inside VBS, training their bodies and minds like never before. Add that to realistic weapon replicas equipped with tracking systems that mirror your every move, and you're not just playing a war game anymore. You're inside a digital battlefield that reacts to how you aim, reload, and fire. This is more than just cool tech. It's revolutionizing how soldiers think, move, and fight before they've ever set foot in the combat zone. And the end goal? A training system so immersive that your brain treats it like the real thing, building instinct, muscle memory, and tactical awareness that carries over into the battlefield. Virtual Battlespace isn't just keeping up with technology, it's setting the pace for what the future of warfare preparation looks like. Now, Arma and VBS aren't the only simulators used by armed forces. You've got games like America's Army, which was a recruiting tool turned tactical trainer, Steel Beasts, which is focused on tank warfare, VR marksmanship systems, full motion simulators for pilots and medics, you name it. But what makes Arma and VBS unique is their shared DNA. This game wasn't retrofitted for training, it was a tactical simulation from day one. Now, VBS4 isn't official yet, but the tools, workflows, and engine behind Reforger may lay the groundwork for the next generation of military sims. Imagine combining VBS4's global terrain with Reforger's dynamic environments and improved AI. I'm sure that they're already using some of it now. Or how cool would it be if we could use some of that real world data and implement it to Arma and have a new place to fight every time we play? You could literally choose where you live and have a warfare simulation there. How cool would that be? What began as a passion project by a few Czech developers has become the cornerstone of modern military training. From living room firefights to real world combat drills, Arma blurred the line between games and reality. Subscribe for more documentaries like this and let me know in the comments if you would survive the basic trainings in VBS. Catch ya.